I miss my friends. You see, getting older and having people take different paths in lives can sometimes cause friendships to dwindle. And it takes effort and communication to kindle the embers of friendship to maintain them. And one thing that I know about effort is that it just doesn't come from laying around in your living room. So let's take a trip. Yo, good morning in the morning, everybody. It is sometime in the wee hours of the morning on a Friday, and I need to travel to Atlanta today. So, much like the procrastinator that I am throughout most of my life, I failed to pack my bag until the final moments before actually heading out. Although I do have another full day of work today, but yeah, I still gotta go ahead and pack this bag, so let's do that. Okay, so I don't know about you guys, but every time I pack my bag, I always pack it like I'm gonna change my shirt 2 times a day, and as if I'm gonna crap my pants multiple times a day. This is only a weekend trip, and I was trying my best to keep it in the weekend warrior spirit, whatever that means. But I guess when you're in a rush, you kind of just throw things in a bag seemingly at random, but at least not without folding. Anywho, I was done within a few minutes, and with the inclusion of my toothbrush, I was ready to go. So for this trip, I'm gonna visit my buddy Danny, who just recently moved to Atlanta. Oh, and before I keep going with the story, of course I'm gonna be drawing something today. This is an art channel after all, and my intention will be to always leave you with a finished piece with each video. Anyways, yeah, my boy Danny, he just recently moved to Atlanta, and he's one of my closest friends from college. This dude's held a bunch of different positions in the Southeast, and it's always been interesting to see the different cities that he's been in. So visiting Atlanta was a no-brainer. Plus, I've always had a special connection with Atlanta. I have a history of visiting the city, and it's a special place in my heart. From Pond City Market to the Centennial Park to the aquarium, the city has so much to offer, and it never disappoints. Regardless, I still had to work a full day before riding out, which kind of looked like this. And I mean, that's cool or whatever, because you know, I gotta put food on the table or whatever, but it's really hard to focus when you have an exciting trip waiting for you as soon as you finish. Anyways, 5 p.m. inevitably came through and I was on the road. Coming in from Florida to Georgia, the geography doesn't offer much in terms of mountain views. I mean, Florida's as flat as a pancake, right? Or is that Kansas? I just checked, it's actually Kansas. Florida actually does have some elevation gain. Regardless, the sunset on my drive was beautiful. Halfway through the drive, however, I really started to feel the fatigue. So I just hit my first pit stop, and I'm 200 miles into this road trip. I still have another like 300 to go, which is like another 4 hours, and I'm starting to feel it. The excitement is wearing off a little bit, so maybe Brandon that's drawing will be able to tell you about that, but whatever, man, I'm already out here, so might as well just keep going. So yeah, as you can see, me from the past was really starting to feel it. I mean, working a full 8 hours and then driving 6 hours and some change is gonna take its toll on anybody. Especially if you're doing the trip solo like I was here. The monotony of listening to music and seeing repetitive road signs really began to take its toll on me. But then I thought to myself, why not listen to an audiobook or something? And bro, that worked wonders. I was able to finish the remainder of the drive by listening to a thrilling audiobook by none other than Savannah Brown. If you haven't heard about her, I linked her YouTube in the description. That chica has a way with words. Nonetheless, in the wee hours of 1 a.m., I was able to arrive safely in Atlanta. That's Danny, by the way. You'll see more of him later. It's 1 in the morning and I finally made it to Atlanta. Don't recommend doing this after a full day of work, but hey, in the weekend warrior spirit, we're here, we made it, we're alive, we're thriving, you know. See you guys tomorrow. So the goal was to be up early and grab breakfast, but life had other plans.
We missed Chick-fil-A. How are your thoughts? What are your thoughts?
I'm so sad. I'm so sad that we missed Chick-fil-A.
So comfy.
So after managing to finally get myself off the couch, we headed to Chick-fil-A anyways and got some food. So the plan for that day was that we actually had no plan. Danny and I typically kind of just decide stuff on the fly. Not because we're crazy spontaneous, but I think it's more because neither of us is active enough to plan. Anyways, we decided to go travel further north to find a cool spot to go on a hike, and just as quickly as I entered the city, I was leaving it again. But before I left, I had to make sure that my car wasn't gonna get towed while I was away. So yesterday I parked at the freaking rooftop. There was no visitor parking. So I was kind of worried that I'd get a boot, but luckily, no boot. Watch there be a boot on the other side. But anyways, take a look at this view. It doesn't really do it justice. So after parking my car in the appropriate spot, we were off. And at some point while exiting the city, we actually decided on a spot Danny had been to before. All right, Danny, answer my questions. Where are we going, Danny?
Cloudland Canyon.
Cloudland Canyon. Cloudland Canyon.
Yep.
Excuse my terrible pronunciation. Anyway, after doing a little bit of research on the spot, I discovered a couple cool things about Cloudland Canyon State Park. This place has a little bit of everything to offer, from like scenic hikes along the 1,000-foot deep canyons. It's got some gnarly caves, rushing creeks, waterfalls, and of course, abundant wildlife. It's located near the border of Georgia and Tennessee, and this place apparently gets pretty crowded during the holidays. It was a 2-hour drive to get to the spot, and as we got closer, the weather got rainier, but that didn't deter us. It actually made the drive a lot more cool and interesting. Once we got to the park, we got ourselves some maps at the visitor center and we were off. And bro, like immediately from the parking lot, the views were phenomenal. After spending some time in the main parking area, we decided to hike to a spot called Bear Creek. Setting off on the trail, it was actually nice to just walk and catch up with a buddy I haven't seen in person for a long time. Needless to say, we talked about a lot of things as we walked in the mist, and as a matter of fact, we actually got lost. Don't worry, not like stranded in the woods lost or anything, we just misread the map, and we wandered off into trails separate from the one we were supposed to be on. But hey, I can't complain. We saw a bunch of cool scenery and even some crazy mushroom formations. A few hours after starting our hike, we finally made it to Bear Creek, and that water was super cold, so there was no way either of us were getting in it. But we did take a break at the creek's edge and talked about life and a bunch of other stuff. But before I knew it, we were already heading back, and the very next day, I was already on my way back to Florida. A weekend trip, although a lot was made from it, is never really enough to internalize a location. You see, to me, catching up with friends is super duper important, and now that I've taken to documenting things more, it's really nice to capture the memories and display them as well. Which brings me to the art piece that I've worked on here today. I wanted to capture the essence of our experience hiking the trails on that day, and even though it's kind of crudely drawn with a red colored pencil, I think this piece means a lot to me because it captures the moment I vividly remember. Plus, the reference photo is mad goofy anyways. Although short-lived, this trip was nonetheless fun, And in my active search for optimism, I can't wait to see where the next one will take me. Until then, subscribe to the channel for more art, animals, and all sorts of things. With that being said, much love to the homie Danny for hosting me. I had a great time. And to everyone out there, my name is Brandon Camilo. I love you all. Bye.